Well, hello, it is Sunday, it's the end of week 3. This week there have been 2 key workouts and so far 2 missed running sessions. Welcome to PKSRUNS. So that's right, we are back with another update from PKSRUNS. My name is Paul and I'm a 2:45 marathoner. I ran that this time last year actually at Loch Ness. I ran 2:45.55. I ran the London Marathon this year. I was hoping to run a 2:40 and the race went spectacularly wrong. Still finished pretty well, but did not get anywhere close to 2:40. In fact, didn't even get close to sub 3. But that's another story. We are now fully focused on Valencia. And I want to keep this video super brief because I've still not done my Sunday long run and I want to get this video out, and then I've got various different jobs to do, and later I may or may not do that run. I'll tell you all about that later, but let's talk about this week. Firstly, a couple of things. How am I feeling? Well, I feel really good. I feel really, really good. I'm really happy with where my training is at. I did a really good hill session on Tuesday. I did a really good interval session on Thursday. However, this week has been absolutely bonkers from a just work and life perspective, and that has made this week just harder than it needed to be. Kind of started last weekend with staying up late to watch the Ryder Cup all the weekend and not really getting the sleep that I needed. That has just left its toll on me. Thursday night into Friday night, I only got about 4.5 hours sleep because I had to pick up my daughter from work at 4:30 a.m. and I'd got to bed late the night before because I was busy working. I was working till about 11 and then worked all day Friday. Didn't even get out to run on Friday. So let's go across to Strava and we'll have a little look at this week's training. It's worth just saying, hang on a minute, are we sharing? Yes, we're sharing, good. Worth just saying, Monday started off super sluggishly. I had nothing in me Monday morning. In bed late from watching the Ryder Cup, went to the gym, just emotionally wrung out. Physically wrung out. I'd done 32k the day before. Yeah. So Monday we're not even going to talk about. Tuesday, here's an interesting one. Tuesday morning, alarm went off, normal time. Couldn't get out of bed and just so tired. Had a lie-in. Just thought, right, I'll get out and I'll run later, and I got out and did a hill repeat later on that day and actually had a really, really good run. So let's just have a little look at the route heading out to Wemden. I was coming out the backside of Wemden Hill. Yes, I said backside, it's fine. And then I went around and just did the lanes around Chiltern Trinity. Let's dive into the laps because this time I did press the button on my watch so that I could have at least a good representation of what my pace was. This was not an all-out sprint. As you can see here, the laps going up the hill were 0.7k, so 700 meters there or thereabouts. And actually the paces are pretty good. I went hard going up and then generally a little bit harder going down, but obviously going down felt like a recovery jog, so you can actually see my heart rate's working much less on those jogs on the way down. But yeah, really, really positive. So 4:10, 4:12, 4:02, 4:01, 3:58, and then I finished off around the 4 minutes per kilometre pace, which if I look up at my board is 2:50 marathon pace. I'm still struggling with transitioning to kilometres to understand what the different paces are, but look, this is really positive. Pushing myself going up the hills and having a good easy run on the way back. Why only do 5? Well, they're longer. So when you think about it, last week I did 10 repeats of there or thereabouts 200 meters. It's all about the amount of time and distance that you're putting in, not necessarily the number of efforts or the number of reps. So yeah, really happy with that. That was a really, really solid workout. Always worth looking at the best efforts just to see what they were looking like at the end. So there was a 2023 5K at the end. I think everything kind of happened, but actually no, one of my fastest miles was an up and down, so 6:29, fastest kilometer 3:57, 41 minute 10K. So look, all really good, and I felt good. It was hard work. I was working for it. I think my heart rate peaked at about 174, I think. Let's just have a look at the pace analysis. We'll be able to get a better idea of it there. I can't see the max. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we'll move on. Okay, second key workout to talk about was, let's go back to my activities. I tell you what's really bothering me, that there's some notifications that I really want to know. Somebody commented. I don't seem to get very many comments on my Strava. I'd love to see that change. So if you're seeing this and you want to comment, please do. Okay, so Wednesday was just in the gym. Decided to have a rest day on Wednesday. That was planned. Arguably, it's not a proper rest day because I was in the gym, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's a rest day. Thursday morning, I got up early, felt myself again, got out to do the 10 by 1K session workout that I wanted to do last week. So let's have a look at this workout. Before I look at the reps, I'm going to tell you how I felt it went, because every rep felt hard, really hard. I did it fasted, largely because I don't know why I did it fasted. I just did. I took an energy gel with me to have halfway through. The first kind of couple of minutes of each rep they felt solid, and then towards the end I would get notifications to say you're not reaching your pace. So the pace that I was aiming for was between 3:20 and 3:28 per kilometer. So I've got an annoying fly buzzing around in front of me. It's on my microphone. Piss off. Anyway, so the pace I was aiming for was between 3:20 and 3:28. Did about 2.5 kilometer warm up. Every single pace I was getting to the end, and I felt like, and it was, my watch was saying you're not hitting your pace. It never got over 3:50 per kilometer, but when I got in, I felt like that just didn't go as well as I'd hoped. I completed all 10 of the reps, so I did 10K at speed with a 2-minute rest in between. I was either walking or a really, really slow jog, with the last kind of 10 seconds just kind of bringing myself back up to speed. I wrote this actually when I got in. That pushed me, struggled through every rep, but I got it done. Don't think I hit target pace once, but that's fine. Still plenty of time. And that was honestly what I thought. Then later on that morning, I was like, I should just check how I actually did with those laps. And I was really, really pleasantly surprised. First rep, 3:22. Second, 3:25. Third, 3:26. 3:25. 3:27. 3:30. Struggling a bit here. 3:30. 3:29. 3:30. 3:32. I mean, honestly, at this point, I couldn't hope for that to be any better. I was so surprised. Yeah, I was struggling by the end of each of those reps, but actually the times are really, really good. I think you could probably say the average there is 3:27, 3:28. Bear in mind that race pace is 3:47 for, is that right? Yeah, 3:47 for 2:40. I'm getting a handle on it. 3:47 would feel a heck of a lot different to these paces. So I'm going to keep on going with intervals. I'm going to mix them up each week, do different lengths. But honestly, I felt that was really, really positive. This has been a great week. Yesterday I got out and I did a 21k, half marathon I guess, just generally keeping it pretty easy. It was incredibly windy, but you know, you can see my heart rate here, nicely controlled. There's a few bits where I let it go, but something that is just super positive is my pace. My pace is really dropping nicely in comparison to how hard I'm working for it. That is such a positive sign. So where does that leave today? I've only done 66.8 kilometers. My target for the week was 110. Everything within me wants to go and run 43.2 kilometers, which would be a marathon and a little bit to get up to my target. But honestly, I've had a really tiring week from a work perspective. I felt tired when I got up this morning. I was going to get up and do a long run. I couldn't get out of bed, and I felt it was more important to rest. So the plan is later on this afternoon, I will get out for a run. I think probably most likely it's going to be just a half marathon, and I'll take it easy. I'll get recovered, ready to have another really good week next week. So that's it. I mean, I feel super happy with this. Thank you for sticking with me on the journey. I do appreciate it. I hope you guys are all doing well with your training journeys. Do keep in touch with me. Follow me on Instagram, PKSRUNS, on Strava at PKSRUNS, and I'll see you at the end of week 4. And let's just hope everything keeps on going as well as it feels like it is so far. Have a great week.